All right, man. We are live. What is going on, George?
Not too much. Not too much. Just looking forward to a little bit of a chat today.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We got some pretty cool shit to talk about. If you guys hear some background noise, we're getting our house painted, so they're all over the place. I mean, I'm stuck down in the bunker in the basement. Um, but you may hear a ladder hit something, so that's like beyond my control. Um, yeah, and then not to be said that these guys are all over the house, so I'm sure one or two of them have seen me naked at some point. Get out. It's hard to keep track of them, dude. And I'm too old to be wrapping a towel around myself. I don't know. I'm just like, whatever, dude. So, yeah. But we've got an old, like, big farmhouse, and there's wraparound porches, and I don't think they've seen me, but if they did, I apologize.
Yeah,
To
it is
them.
what it is, right?
So before we get started, I got something very cool to show you. Da da da!
Fantastic.
Yeah, this is the new Switchblade. This is the gunmetal gray version, as I'm not in my camera. You'll see now the belt. There's Velcro on the end of it, so
Yep.
it will secure here. The chest piece color matches. Try to pull it all out. I've got rifle plates in here, but the come on. So you'll see the chest plate. Well,
Yep.
for this model, color matches the unit. It some of the ones we had an issue with the earlier first responders. We made the solution on this too. Like when they're fully loaded, sometimes the concealed compartment would open up.
Yeah.
So we replaced it with this little doohickey here. And yeah, this has got like firearms in there and, rifle plates. And it's got compartment wise as a backpack, it has one big compartment.
Yep.
And then there is another smaller compartment, so you can actually take another, put more another laptop in here, another iPad, whatever, tablet, and then it's just another smaller compartment here. So yeah, I'm not good at this camera stuff. So they and again, drink. Another utility pocket here. It's available in black, and this is gunmetal gray. Yeah, so we just placed an order for these. We're going to be launching this pre-sales going next week, and then that'll be in October for delivery by the end of November. So it takes about 30 days to make. We're getting about 1,000 or so of each. So it would take about 30 days to make, and then another 30 days to get here by boat. And then, so they'll be ready for, you're ordering them end of November, beginning in December. And yeah, we'll be shipping them for Christmas. And now we're off and rolling. We're still obviously going to have the first responder. That's more of kind of a go bag type of thing, but this is for this is for everyday, like stealth, bag, and it's smaller, it's easier, it's more manageable. And yeah, and thanks April for joining us. This is our only live fan right now.
It's kind of, it's kind of like what is it, Big Bang Theory, with if you've ever watched that, where they have fun
Yes.
with flags. Yeah,
Yes.
and it's like the one or two
Right.
fans. We've got yes.
I mean, we record these things and we send them out to a couple 100,000 people, but still, like, when we're live, we don't announce it. We do not do any promotion to have a live podcast. This is just, kind of what we do.
Yeah.
So one of the things we want to talk about first and foremost is like we get, let's talk about some customer mail.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
yeah,
oh.
look, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, it's a very popular misconception is that one, to sit there and think that I'm not a firearms person is a huge mistake. I'm literally at the gun range now pretty much like every week. So, it's something I take very seriously. I'm in New Jersey. I can't, when I was a bodyguard for that moment, I was able to, conceal carry. But for the most part, um, I do not, I can't carry outside my house. So be that as it may, um, we got I have this quote, but I rather just pull this up and we can talk about it because, um, there seems to be that, uh, it's either firearms or self-defense, or if I carry a gun, I don't need to have to worry about how to physically protect myself.
Yeah.
Uh, this can't be farther from the truth. So let's just, let me just share this with you guys about someone who ordered 60-minute self-defense and then, couldn't log in and had a problem, getting on. So please cancel my order for the course. I'm 80 years old and I don't think I can do this. Besides, I couldn't figure out how to use the course. If someone is beating the shit out of me, I'll just shoot them in self-defense, of course. Thank you for your time and consideration. Okay, Don.
We love you, Don.
We love you. I think you're awesome. The reality is let's talk about this. First, if someone is beating the shit out of me, Don, at 80, I don't know, I'm planning on 53. I'm planning on staying in, shape for a very long time. But someone's already beating shit out of you. It's too late. The chances of you getting your firearm are done.
Yeah.
So that moment has passed. The opportunity for you to draw, acquire your target, and fire, unless of course you are, right on top of you, you're rolling around. It's not going to happen. And even if you do have the opportunity to draw your firearm, that doesn't necessarily mean the fight's over. Here's a video that we use a lot in our seminars about a cop who is doing a traffic stop, or he's responding to a call that involves a very, a bigger, younger guy, not even a younger guy. The cop's young. The subject is bigger and very aggressive, and the officer empties his firearm, empties his mag in the guy. The guy keeps coming. So, look, it's firearms is just another tool in your toolbox, right?
Yep.
So you need to, round out your, you need to round out your training. Doesn't mean you got to go be a prize fighter, but you just have to understand the concepts of, what we're doing here. And, and again, to speak to a specific point, Don looked at one specific technique, decided he couldn't do it, and then stopped.
He couldn't. It came back with, I can't do any of this.
Right.
And that's look, we are not traditional martial arts. If you can walk upright, you can do this.
Yeah, I mean, the Aware course has got no skill in it whatsoever. It is it is about preparation. It's about situational awareness. It's about how you interact with your environment. So, I don't understand, after going through that. I don't think he even looked at that. I think he just clicked something open. He's like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Yes.
Or we send up follow-up emails showing him other stuff, like if someone's like mugging you with a knife or something like that, to get them to come back and go to the course, and he sees that. So Don is older. I get it. We're here to help you. We'll get on the phone with you and help you log on. I mean, we're not sending out, we don't do DVDs, we don't do, VHS or anything.
And you know what? Thank you for mentioning that, because you would not believe how many people will email us 3 or 4 months later and tell us they have not received their DVD. I have not seen a DVD from you, Damien, since what, 2012?
Maybe, yeah. And I haven't used a DVD in, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's been over 5 years.
At least.
So any event. So again, like the gun, getting back to the gun versus, being your be all end all self-defense tool. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. In a fight with a firearm or not a firearm, I would want to be the guy with the firearm.
Yeah.
Okay. Make no mistake. The people saying that someone will take a weapon and use it against you, that's martial arts bullshit. I'm going to tell you, people, that if you're trained properly in anything and you react accordingly and appropriately, no one's going to take any weapon away from you.
Yeah.
Period. So here we go. Let me just pull this up. Share screen, window, Chrome tab, copy. There we go. Share. Okay. All right. So
by 100 pounds.
I mean, so it's a
the
bigger
deputy
guy.
begins searching Wilson for weapons. Then all hell breaks loose.
All right. I mean, look, he's an older guy. The cop's like, I got a problem. Yeah, so there's you're getting the shit beat out of you. All right, young guy.
And just, stop for just a moment, Damien. I want to address the very first thing you'll notice that he did was right away with the pepper spray. And I mean, we talk about the use of pepper spray, the benefit of absolutely having it. But again, all of these things are simply tools. If you do not understand the principles, concepts, and everything else that we discuss, you're going to find yourself potentially in a situation like this.
Yes, nothing is the be all end all, not even your technique.
Yeah. I
mean, we'll train, release it. We released one shot fight enders, and yeah, if trained and hit in the right way, with the right amount of force, you'll end the fight with one shot. But, you do miss. Yep. And, shit happens. Thinking that all I have is pepper spray is just a distraction. We use it primarily as a method of escape. The problem is this cop, he's got, he's forced to deal with this guy. And there's a big problem with, with a lot of local law enforcement is they got one guy in the car.
Yeah.
So anytime you are, the threat is 1.5 times you will lose. Okay. So just keep that in mind for all of your training. If it's 2 people, chances are, you're gonna wind up, getting your ass handed to you. Okay, so now he looks like he's drawing his firearm. Let's see, put some audio on this.
He tried to come up off the car and turn around. I attempted to push him back down on the car, and he came up again and spun around on me. That's when I pulled out my pepper spray, took a few steps back and sprayed him with pepper spray. As he's coming at me, the only thing he said to me was, "You're going to need more than that."
With no choice but to use deadly force, Mitchell draws his gun and fires. He misses. His second shot is a direct hit at point-blank range. The suspect takes a bullet to the abdomen. Yet incredibly, keeps fighting.
I'm thinking, wow, I've already shot him once. What's it going to take to stop him?
Again, it's really not incredible. This happens all the time. people getting, people taking multiple rounds and they don't even feel it. And people die
Adrenaline is
from,
an amazing thing.
yes, your body is designed to do this. And people die with gunshot generally from gunshot wounds from blood loss. So, you still got to wait for them to bleed out. Again, unless you're hitting them, in the, base of the skull, or, you're incapacitating their cardiovascular. There's even guys, one of my buddies who teaches a carry course for law enforcement officers told the story of a guy down in Florida got shot in the heart with a 45 and still ran for like a half mile. So this shit does happen. And this guy's been told that once he uses his firearm, once he lands a shot, that the fight's over, and it's not by any stretch.
Mitchell pulls the trigger for a third time, but the gun jams.
And that does happen too. So
the boxer wrenches the weapon from his hand, but it won't fire.
He then comes at me again, starts striking me with the weapon. I was thinking to myself, this sucks. He's going to kill me.
The brawl rages on for over a minute.
Which is forever.
Yeah. Average
my God,
5 to 15 seconds, right? So this going on for over a minute is insane.
Your adrenaline, you are just crushed, man. And yeah. And by the way, this guy was unarmed. Right?
Yeah.
So technically, he shot an unarmed man. And by today's headline standard, an unarmed, apparently, black man.
Yeah. And he was unarmed. Where the hell isn't now?
Right, exactly. Now he's armed, and now he's lucky that the gun is jammed, because the guy would have killed him. And anytime, again, this gets into weapon retention, but anytime someone tries to take your gun, you must assume they're going to kill you.
Yep.
So that is a threat on your life. Period. All right.
The deputy breaks free. It's long enough for him to recover his firearm and radio. He hits Wilson with his pistol.
When I was striking him with the firearm, it was like the pepper spray and the gunshot wound. It seemed to just make him madder.
Finally, backup arrives.
Yeah, man. That kid, that officer is done. Done.
Yeah.
He's like got nothing in him. He's got nothing. He's got nothing in the tank to, yeah. You go back to it, you want to look back at when, and this, people would consider this to be brutal, is that as soon as that guy turned on him and didn't comply, you gotta knock him out.
Yeah.
Or automatically draw your weapon. You can't get into that wrestling match with that person unless you have an elevated level of skill.
Yeah. And even then, 100+ pound difference, that kind of disparity, just unbelievable.
Right. Again, this is why you should have multiple guys in there. This is why, if you're law enforcement or any type of security, you've got to keep yourself in shape. You do. You're going to be dishing out punishment and you're going to be taking it. So, look, man, glad that dude's alive. I think the subject also survived. But still, it's like, I don't know, man. I know people sit there and they'll say, why is you shooting an unarmed man? Maybe you should have shot him in the leg. Maybe you should have. This is why you don't do those things, because you can't. This is what's out there. Not just a retired nobody, a guy who used to box. Right? They use the term retired boxer. I'm like, it wasn't anybody I ever heard of.
That's right.
Right? So, yeah. So, speaking of real life situations, you pulled up some excellent closed circuit TV footage of people and actual attacks. So
just how fast shit can go sideways. And just to touch on the end of that video, and to touch on Don and anybody else who said, well, I'll just use my fucking gun. This individual, this officer, is theoretically a trained, able-bodied person, fairly young. Let's assume he's fairly fit, and let's assume that he knows what the hell he's doing. Don, you're 80 years old and admitted you know very little. Like, this is why people need to learn and not just depend on their gun. And it goes for everybody that's out there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean that your officer, depending on where you go, but basically you got to qualify once or twice a year with your firearm. You don't have to do too many, standard. You don't have to do any more physical fitness tests after the academy, but compared to your average person who has, who owns a firearm, probably doesn't do any training at all. Maybe goes down to the range and shoots some paper targets. So that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So, the time to sit there and when to think you're going to be reflect on that situation. Officer is cops pulling a guy over. He knows there's a potential for it to go south.
Yeah.
Knows it. Yet, when it does, he still has that oh shit moment, right? The guy becomes uncompliant, and this is your job. This isn't you, talking, arguing over a parking space, or, somebody standing up in front of you at the game. This is, a real, this is the guy's job.
Yeah.
So he pulls the dude over. He's ready for it. He's trained for it. He's got to, you suit up, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. You're pulling a guy over, your adrenaline starts going. You are running through these scenarios in your mind.
Yeah.
So, and it happened, and look what happened. So you want to think that you purchase a gun, you got a CCW, you maybe take some classes and you do this and all that it's going to go well for you. And you're not, anytime that guy put his hands on that cop, he could have ended him.
Yep.
Could have knocked him out. Anytime he had that opportunity. So every contact from that cop had a potential of blowing up and, putting that cop out.
Yep.
All right. So let's go to the next one. Okay. Warning. Okay. Guys coming up.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
Now, all you gun holders, when do you have time to bring out your firearm now to defend yourself? You tell me in the 1.3 seconds of which it took this guy to turn around and knock this other fucker out.
Right. And this is why we talk about distancing so important. Okay, there is no reactionary gap here. There is no, this guy's right on top of him. So look at it from perspective of the guy getting hit, and look at it from the perspective of the guy getting, doing the hitting. You want to do what the guy in the white shirt's doing. You don't want to do what the guy in the sweatshirt's doing.
Yep.
Yeah. So look, these things don't happen in a vacuum. Okay. Guy is, just want to clue it up. Okay. They're clearly having an argument. So the guy didn't come in with a puff of smoke. So there's already a problem here.
Yeah.
Okay. People will say, oh, it's a sucker punch. No, bullshit. There's no such thing as a sucker punch.
That's right. There's
the person who hit first. There's winners and losers. And it's usually the guy who decides to take that step first. And he cracks him with, a swinging elbow right out of one shot, fight enders and module 2 of the training system. So look, sizing him up. He's getting his butt. Look, his body's going to get set. He's going to set his hips. And this guy's standing there with his hands in his pockets.
That's right. And then walks actually into it.
Yeah, so look, so now he took his, he's opening his hips up, and now all he's thinking about is just cleaning this dude. And yeah, this guy's still hands in his pockets. He thinks nothing's going to happen. Sweatshirt. T-shirt, is just, okay, I had enough of this shit. Bang. Right on the side of the head, right on the button.
Yep.
And this, and they're on concrete. So while, there's a good chance this guy, hits his head, cracks his skull, game over.
Yep.
So, and he's out, man. Man, like Debo.
Yeah.
So, again, 2 approaches here. Approach, the target, poor body position, squared up, allowing all of his vitals, to be, presented. So this guy's got pick of the litter where he can shoot. I mean, we can attack. The other guy, white shirt, already in a position of advantage. He's already set up. All right. He already knows what he's going to do. He's got a plan.
Yeah. And you know what, Damien? And I think this is where self-defense instructors, self-defense companies, and students, people really drop the ball on understanding what self-defense, self-protection really is. They've got this idea of somebody's going to attack me, I can protect myself. But, this isn't so much somebody attacking. This is your ego got the better of you. You've had words with somebody who just, knocked you the fuck out. And you have to understand exactly what self-protection really is all about and cover all aspects of it, not just this movie idea of, people just attacking you out of the blue or, these common violent encounters that you automatically assume we're talking about, because we're not talking about those. These little arguments can, can just exasperate into something fucking massive so quickly.
Yeah. Again, this is obviously, you mentioned out of the blue. This is not all of a sudden he hit me with an elbow. No, this shit started inside the pub.
That's right.
Right. So these guys are coming outside having their argument, and you don't just go from, casual conversation to some guy just cracking you. This is, they're having a problem. Right. And, this guy is the fight's already over. Boom.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's it. I mean, and, to try to, most people will have you believe that, the guy like Sweatshirt, it should have been, should be able to block that. Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. And, there's a fair fight doesn't exist.
No.
He cheap shot at me. No. As soon as you have a problem with somebody, as soon as you let a threat into your space, it's your fault. So, standing there, your hands in your pockets, arguing with a guy, letting him line you up. Well, that's on you.
Yeah, and we don't know the backstory to what has happened here. And if you watch the body language of, Sweatshirt guy there, he's walking into the strike. So he's encroaching upon this guy who's hitting him. So, right. I mean, what was he baiting? Yeah, was he fucking asking for it? Like, we don't really know, right? But This is how fast things can happen.
Right. So, what's your next one? Yeah, good stuff. Stop screen share. Mm-hmm. So we did that. Oh. Okay, so let's get this rolling. Come on.
Conscious and then repeatedly kicked in the head by 2 thieves. One of the pair can first be seen throwing a ceramic plate at the 51-year-old, prompting him to turn around as it smashes on the pavement. As he continues his journey home, a second offender then appears out of nowhere and punches him in the head, immediately knocking him to the gutter unconscious.
Okay, so this is a dodge here, right? So what do we say? In order for somebody close enough to you, they have to, enter your personal space.
Yeah.
So you got two guys. This is what they do. They wait for guys to stumble out, come out, throws a distraction. The guy turns. The other guy probably, hits him. Probably got, something, a weapon of some sort. And then that's it. In this situation, what you need to do is just keep moving. You can look, but as long as you're moving past this X marks the spot here, you're gonna take yourself out of the situation. We always say what? Always assume the guy is armed and he has friends, and this guy's just kicks him when he's starts kicking him when he's down just because he's a piece of shit.
And I think, Damien, the main thing that I got from this and that I would share with anybody is, look, there's really only going to be two ways that you're ever going to be assaulted. One is going to be some kind of dialogue, some kind of interview like we saw in the previous clip. And in this case, an ambush where you didn't see it coming. Now, look, could situational awareness have helped that situation? Yeah, probably. But I mean, sometimes there's going to be cases where, it is what it is. You're shit out of luck, and it's just not your night. And no matter what you fucking done or do, you couldn't have avoided something like this. But what I say and what I come back to when I see things like this is, guys, you don't have time to try and make decisions all the time when it comes to self-defense. So relying on any kind of tool, how could you rely on a firearm in a situation like this, right? You can't. So the answer of I'll just buy a firearm and not learn to protect myself or not learn about and understand situational awareness, it doesn't make any sense. And when you get people who are older, like Don, come back to Don here for a moment, you're going to be looked at as prey. You're an easy target in the eyes of people like this. You're older, you're probably weaker than them, and they're definitely going to assume that you're outnumbered. You want to avoid this kind of thing, and this is what we provide within our training, is understanding how to see these kind of things before they happen. Best defenses don't be there in the fucking first place. Right?
Yeah, right. Obviously bad night, right? And this is, these are two professionals. When I say professionals, I mean, they've done this before.
Oh yeah, clearly.
And this is how they get, some extra, this is how they get some spending money. It could be a couple junkies, whatever, who the hell they are. So, right here, okay, this is the distraction, and this is allowing this other guy, assailant to close the distance on him, and this is very difficult because when he's here, now the guy's walking in the frame now, right? You still got to worry about this guy, and this is X marks the spot where he's standing.
Yes.
So if you continue to try to move away, but know that, obviously we can't hear what's being said, by this guy, but he could be asking him for directions. It could be a number of things. He probably isn't saying anything that's too threatening, right? One guy throws a plate, he's probably like, I'm sorry, just fucking around. And the other guy could be like, hey, excuse me, can I get a smoke off you or whatever? Anything to get close to him. And you're really the only thing, and I'm going to say this, understanding that it's simple, but it's not easy, is like, if you really are aware of your distance, right now the guy should either, and it's not in our nature to all of a sudden start to sprint away from this situation. It's not terribly realistic, but if you're like hyper aware of your surroundings, because what's going to happen is if he doesn't go down with one punch or one strike or whatever the hell that was, the assailant number one is going to finish the job. but his body language suggests that he's done it before.
Yeah.
That he's like, okay, boom, got him. Let's go through him. I mean, again, him kicking him in the head is just, just adding one insult to injury, but two, it's making sure that the guy's out. There's sure, and then there's dead sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, you're looking at this and, this shit happens. Again, you can say, well, he's at a bar, he's at this. I'm like, yeah, okay, so you want to punish a guy for going out and having a snort. But truth be told, I mean, this could be a meeting running late.
Yep.
Right? And, you don't know. These guys are usually sizing up this guy, probably saw him in the bar. Right? So they're already, they do their size up and they chose him because they thought they could do exactly this to him.
Yep.
So again, like while, you're looking at this, it's not an alley, it's a major street. It's just late. It's at night. Obviously there's, it's not crowded, but again, this could be, meeting going wrong. You take the wrong turn. You're in a town that you don't, you're not necessarily, familiar with. You're traveling, whatever. I'm like, you go in a place at like noon and come out at like, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It could be a completely different street.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then finally, one more. Just say. So yeah, good. Share screen. All right. So let me get this thing back to the beginning. All right. So, all right, let's go back again. Okay.
I don't know what he did to piss these guys off. But...
Yeah, man. This is beyond a bad day. Maybe he's wearing the wrong soccer shirt someplace. But these guys are like, these guys are loaded. I mean, this is like some movie bullshit.
Yeah. We talk about multiple armed assailants. I mean, this is it right here.
Yeah. I mean, at what point, man, you gotta be the best shit talker in the world if you think you're going to talk your way out of this.
Yeah.
Because, once you're dealing with that mob mentality, this isn't like one guy. This is like all of us, we get absorbed in the, the guy's, they put as a father, the guy's a father of two. I don't know what that qualifies him for. But okay, we'll go with it to make it seem like he's a family guy. But, unless you, okay, so I can't, we don't know what the hell precipitated this. Let's just say for a brief moment, he's walking down the street and he goes by a gang of people who decide that he's the guy that they're going to fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay. If this is the case, he should be running.
Yeah.
Right. You see this. I see this. I'm running.
Yeah, there doesn't even need to be fucking 35. There could be 3 or 4. I'm going the other fucking way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, goodbye.
Yeah.
How you doing? Keep it moving, right? I'm like, that's it. But no, he stands there thinking he's gonna, so this guy, yeah, and okay, so this is like Street Fight 101. There's the guy talking to you. That's not your problem. It's the guy who's not talking to you who's gonna take the shot, and that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, does this guy have something in his hand? Or it's just the camera? No, it's just the camera. Yeah, dude. Then it's over.
Yeah, that looks like a kid in the background there, like a little guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of freaking people here.
Look at that. A swollen jaw, gash. That's it. 35 men, 16 to 20-year-olds.
Yeah. What I'm like, I don't know why you're, talking to these kids, dude. Time to go. And here's the thing about kids, and if they're gone a certain way, they don't have as much value or appreciation of life.
Yeah, they're completely fucking desensitized to violence now.
Yeah, and there's also a certain level of immortality. This is why 19-year-olds, jump out of planes and 50-year-olds tell them to. Because you're like, you see a group of kids like this, and I know you're probably thinking, okay, one of these kids, I'll handle them, but these kids are ready to roll. Ready to roll. And at least if you can run and get to, some type of, some area where someone's, you're going to have witnesses, because they feel emboldened to do this, or you can prolong the assault enough where, first responders can get there, you got a shot. But yeah, man, this, you ain't Bruce Lee in your way out of this.
And you know what? I mean, talking about how bold they must be in that case, if you read this here, right, outside this individual's home. So in theory, there's probably other homes right next to it. So there could be a whole lot of witnesses, but it makes me wonder who this guy is and what the fuck he did to have all of these youth, this gang of youth, show up right by his house.
Yeah, right. Good point. I didn't even notice that in the... that's outside his house. So yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, and if it's a neighborhood beef, then it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Right? They're clearly pissed off at him for some reason. Maybe he deserved to get his ass beat. Who knows? Right? Right. So
unbelievable.
All right, man. And on that. So cool. So yeah, so we learned a lot today, right? I mean, again, it's about really, when it comes down to it, it's about one, your personal space, right? So, once you let people into it, you got to react and got to do something. On the flip side of that, if you are the aggressor, you need to take someone out, you need to close the distance, do something disarming to them where they think you're not a threat, and then boom. Again, with our friends with the firearms, shit. I train and carry, I have firearms. I train regularly. Again, it's just another tool in your toolbox. You saw the guy pepper spray, cop had pepper spray, shot him, gun jammed. People don't think about, people missing, guns jamming. People not dying automatically when you get shot. Like, everyone thinks it's the movies. You get shot, you grab your heart, you go into this whole thing. So,
and I think, for everybody, Don, if you end up saying this, hey, we're here to help you. But to anybody who studies with any of our instructors or purchases any of the material at all, start with the awareness section. There's a reason that we have the awareness section, and self-defense, self-protection starts from a non-physical place. Guys, if shit gets physical, you fucked up. Things have gone bad. You do not want things to get physical. That is not the starting point. A lot of self-defense instructors, a lot of self-defense, they start with that. You're in fight. You've been grabbed. That's not true self-defense. Start at the very beginning, because everybody can do this. Everybody can learn from that. And you could avoid 90 to 95% of bullshit just by studying that portion. The physical side is there when things have gone sideways and you have to, depend on it. It's better to have and not need than need and not have, right?
Right. And yeah, on that bombshell. Okay. Thanks for joining me, George. We'll get this posted, and until next time, train honestly.